Hello, my name is Yvonne Chung Wei Yee and Koo Jing Ming. We are from TARUMT and we are going to present our assignment BAIT2004 Fundamental of Computer Network. Here are the content: network topology design, network configuration, and pin connectivity tests. So here at past day we have been hired as a land engineer in the food processing manufacturing plant in Johor, and each of the department will grow 20%. Here are the number of halls that is given in the question in building A and every level with the growth 20% we have calculated. So the topology we are using for in each building is the star topology, while the router to router topology is mesh topology. So in the building A, there is a centralized switch connecting to the devices. So the benefit of using this star topology is that when one of the PC breaks down, the other PC still can work. Okay, so moving on to the merge topology is that the benefit of it is that the communication between the node will increase and it can provide the security and privacy for each building. For example, in this building A, we are using the copper straight-through wire to connect the switch and all of the end devices. This is because it has the maximum data transfer rate and it's very easy for installation for the new PC, and it's very reliable in harsh environment such as in our manufacturing plant. So for the router to router, we are using the serial DTE cable, which can transmit data reliably over the long distance, and it has the low latency and overhead. The dedicated point-to-point connection can minimize the congestion and the interference, which can increase the network performance. So in this building A, we are using the switch for each department, which is under one subnet, and here is one subnet for the another department. So we use switch instead of hub because switch can perform in full duplex mode, which allowing higher communication, faster communication, and increase the network performance and decrease the network traffic, because the frame is forwarded to the computer assigned, but not all computer, and it can decrease the collision that occur in half duplex mode. Moving on to this, our network address scheme, we are using class B, which is 172.16.00 to 172.31.255255, which can store 65534 host address, which is enough for our network. For each subnet, first usable and last usable is for identification and broadcasting purpose. And the first usable address is the router address, which is known as the default gateway. And the second usable address is the switch address, while the rest of the address is for the end devices. We are using VLSM for our network because it's using the hierarchy addressing scheme, which calculating from the largest host to the lowest host. It can actually optimize the address utilization, conserve IP address space, and facilitate the growth and management of complex network. For example, like finance department, it has its own subnet. It can actually secure their privacy and security because it's separated from other department. So here is a VLSM table. It can show you only a few examples. Here is the largest host and this is the lower host. So here are the subnet mask, subnet address, first usable address, which is the router address, and the last usable and the broadcast address. So the subnet department, they are assigned that is start from this and end with this, and the subnet router, which is shown in this table, is start with 9.32 to 9.55 range. So for example, this router C to router D subnet, which is shown in this picture, the first usable address is assigned to the interface at the router C, while the last usable address is assigned to the router D. So here is the building A. So the interface with the IP address for the router is actually the default gateway for this. So the switch MKD, here have the default gateway for this. Okay, now I'm passing to Koo Jing Ming.
All right, thank you, Wei Yee. So I'm going to continue so on. Okay, this is building B. In building B, we have 3 switches and 1 router. This is the router interface IP address subnet mask for both router and switches. Okay, and this is the end devices for all the end devices interface IP address subnet mask in building B. Okay, to building C, it's also the same. We have router C and switch CP. Only 1 router and 1 switch. Here we combine 3 product line in a subnet because it's more easy to manage, because these 3 departments are almost the same, are quite similar. And this is the end devices for in building C, and this is building D. Alright, to connect router to router, we are using static routing to do this. So for 4 router A, B, C, and D, as you can see, we have the path. We have set all the path to another building to connect within each other. I'm going to show you. Alright, let's say router A, static routing. We have set all the path. So we can communicate from one building to another building. Next, we have the router and switch initial setting. For all router and all switches, we are using the same password and secret password, which its password is the Cisco 2024 and secret password is class 2024. And this is the code we use to configure inside the CLI of all the routers and switches. And now here we have the initial setting table. All the password and secret password are the same, and banner for router we use this, and the switches we use this. So the host name is like the router A, we use RA, RB, RC, and RD for the relevant router, and the switch we just use the S and combine with their name with the department name, and all are the same. And this is a few screenshots of our end devices configuration, which is we have configured all the IPv4 address, subnet mask, default gateway. And this is some of the screenshot of our ping connectivity, which all of our end devices can ping to each other from wherever it is within a building or building to another building. So now I'm going to demonstrate the ping connectivity. So let's say let's do an example of within the building A. So let's say I want to ping this PC from here. So I'm going to copy the IP address and go to the command prompt and type ping. So the first time there is 20% of loss. So let's try again. So for the second time it will be 0% loss. So it's successful ping successfully. So now I'm going to cross the building. Okay, let's say I want to ping this device from from A to B. Alright, it's also successful, 0% loss for the second time. And another example, let's ping this device from this device. Alright, which also come up to the same result, which is successful. So all the device can ping to wherever they want, from wherever it's from building to building or within the building. Last is the digital resources used in this assignment. So here is the digital resource we use. Here. Alright, that's all for the presentation. Thank you very much.